walking around San Francisco with a MegaBots shirt that you've never met before, but has colored hair and, you know, sort of a woman. It's probably
sort of a woman.
Okay.
Maybe a bad place to pause that.
It appears we're live on Twitch now, according to Switchboard. It appears we're live on everything now.
Is it working?
I don't know. Maybe you could pull one of your phones out.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Are we live on Facebook right now?
Hello, everybody. This is the last 25 minutes of the eBay stream. We got some of the old employees back, sitting in my living room.
Woo!
We're just going to hit refresh a bunch on the eBay listing and see who buys Eagle Prime for lots of money.
Tons of money.
Tons of money. Oh, we are live. Look at that.
Buckets.
Wait, seriously?
Buckets and buckets.
Hold on.
27 viewers. Look, hey.
Oh,
Hey,
27!
guys. Oh my God.
So we're gonna open up the comments section and
Man, do we want to bring up the comments
maybe
section?
we'll do a little Q&A. Maybe we'll hang out.
That's kind of
I
hilarious.
hate the comments section.
Bring it on.
What you should have done.
You got it all wrong, guys.
Have you tried selling it to the military?
Oh yeah.
Where's the link?
Okay.
Greetings from El Salvador. Greetings back. Hello.
Where are you looking? Also, do you have Wi-Fi here?
Probably on Twitch,
Yeah.
right?
I'm looking on Facebook.
Is it awesome?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, you're looking on Facebook.
What is the
Listen, man.
password?
We all have
Land
our
parties,
desired
lowercase.
social
LAN
media.
parties?
Yeah, all lowercase.
You just said that to everybody.
Yeah, but I don't know if any. Maybe someone will war drive. Nobody knows where I live. So.
Well, hi, everybody.
So we'll do intros. This is Dan. Well, myself. Yeah, Dan. Me.
Introduce yourself first. That's fine.
Do it.
The remaining MegaBots employee, Matt. You're probably all familiar. Probably most familiar with me and Guy on the YouTube videos the most. Dan, mechanical engineer,
Project manager extraordinaire.
project manager, very instrumental in developing Eagle Prime, as well as Guy, the mastermind. The mastermind, I would say, behind the idea and most of the mechanical engineering of, for sure, Iron Glory.
100% of Iron Glory.
A very large percent of Eagle Prime as well. And Miles, our awesome electrical engineer,
Yay.
is very instrumental in
All of the
developing Eagle Prime and rebuilding Iron Glory,
Yep.
which is now in Japan.
So what's happening to Iron Glory?
So Iron Glory is on tour. How many people are watching?
Let's see. Facebook is up to 65.
Yeah,
68.
What about Twitch?
I have not checked. I'm just trusting in this live streaming software that I purchased this morning called Switchboard on a 7-day trial, which I will not end up paying for because this company won't exist in 7 days. So I gave him a credit card.
Well, that's
Probably not. The company actually will probably exist for maybe a couple months, but okay. Let's fire this thing up. See if this works.
Are we taking questions? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a good way to take questions.
We got one. What was the most difficult part of building the robot? From Michael Romero.
Which robot? Which robot?
Which robot?
Let's assume
which
Eagle
robot?
Prime because nobody
Eagle
was
Prime?
around for Iron Glory. Tell us, Dan. You start.
Like for me or for the team?
For each person, I guess.
For each person. The quick disconnects. You put 16 of in the shoulder, and we had to disconnect and reconnect those damn things every time we put on the arms.
The long loops of hoses that led to like.
And really, it's just simple. It's just there. But when you're there for a number of hours and you've done it several times already that day,
yeah.
cranking those damn things down.
Yeah, we should finish this. I honestly did not do very much on Eagle Prime.
You did all of Iron Glory.
We did all of the first iteration of Iron Glory's electrical system. The hardest part there That was, it was always like timeline, but a lot of it was like cable routing. So what would happen is, and Miles had to deal with this a lot too, is like electrical engineering would wait on mechanical engineering to like finalize the designs, assembly, all that kind of stuff. And so electrical engineering would have to work in advance to pre-plan out wire lengths, cables, build up all the cables, and you really had no idea how far you would have to run wires or where the wires would run. So you'd end up making them extra long, so no matter what they would work, and then you'd have like tons of wires just like coiled, sitting in the cockpit, and it just made for like this big ugly bundle of wires that people would trip on and step over and stuff like that. It was like a lot of debugging stuff with the joysticks. That sucked a lot too.
Oh yeah, holy crap.
Oh, dropping the cockpit on.
That was a pile.
Dropping the cockpit. How much does the cockpit weigh with the shoulders?
Probably 2 tons.
2 tons.
Two to three
So
tons.
you're dropping this cockpit down on a crane, and you're trying to line it up and get the hydraulic connections.
Also the electrical connection.
And the electrical connections. And
All
when
of
you're
which are
swinging this thing
sticking
around
out.
on a crane, if anything goes wrong, this 2 tons of metal doesn't give a flying anything about the electrical cables that it will slice in half.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
And it's the worst place to service in the entire robot.
So you don't want to pick it up again for sure.
Oh god!
Oh god! It's a terrible.
Why are you
skipping the ad? Skip the
Are
ad.
they paying us for this?
And an iPhone bill.
Are you gonna give us
It's Mint.
$15 a month.
Okay,
Brought to you by Mint.
I'm just trying to answer questions.
I don't think it matters at this point.
Well, the worst part for me was trying to... What? We're watching ourselves? This
Yep.
is like some...
Okay, would you like me to turn the TV off?
Wait, it's like I move my arm.
170.
Anyway, the worst part for me
Oh, there we go.
was the kind of trying to keep up with the number of people who needed work and staggering the design so that like the fabricators would be working continuously while parts of the robot were not designed in the first place. So like literally from the ankles up, we like started locking bits and pieces of the design in place way before the rest of the robot was done. And we had to like race to send out mechanical drawings to get parts back so that when fabricators finished making a part, they'd have a new part to build in the first place. And we had to do that for the entire robot for 1.5 years, right? And like making sure that all of the parts still fit together from like the top all the way to the bottom when the whole design's been locked for like a year. Like, oh God! Getting heartburn just thinking about it.
So like, I think the hardest part is that mechanical engineering was never done.
Right. Not until literally the last day.
No, I mean, so like, that meant like, there was literally no time for electrical to actually do any design work. Like what you don't see in, especially Eagle Prime, is that there must be like literal miles of loops of cable because we had to get the largest ones because we didn't know how to route them.
Because mechanical design was
mechanical design was never done. And actually, when Dan mentioned putting the cockpit on, like it brought back terrible memories of putting the cockpit on. So like I remember Rob staying late once and then trying to do the cockpit like install himself because that's how Rob does.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, I put it on, it's great. And like I'm going up there, and I realized he had like a line because it was only him like doing this, and we didn't realize that this was a problem until like I go up there and look that he smashed every electrical connector flat, and the thing's already like bolted to like the legs, so I have to pull it off again. And I remember telling him that, and like he just like despaired for a second. And like the amount of times that happened was like
it was
uncountable. Like it was so many times.
I remember when we moved like the heavy lift arms for the first time and like happily exercising through the range of motion, and then suddenly like we're like, why did we lose half of all of the nodes in the arms? Oh, it's because we just severed the cable going to the lower arm. Like It's just gone. There's no more wrist anymore.
Why did that happen? Oh, right, it was routed through a pinch point.
Right. Yeah. And then we spray painted all of the hard stops red. If anything's in the red hard stop area.
Question: how many MegaBots shirts do you have in your closet?
I probably
have 10. Maybe.
I probably got like 5 to 12, somewhere in that. I keep giving them away. I bring them to like swap meets. Always I bring one.
By the way, you can still buy them on the store, megabots.com, store.megabots.com.
We'll be there for long.
At this point, that money goes to the bank directly.
I think I have negotiated at this point, like, the bank will take X amount of dollars and then whatever is left, like, stays with the company. However, I was like, this is how much money it's going to cost to shut down the company. And they're like, we're going to give you less. So,
Whoops.
yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. But I think if I can, like, sell some of the shipping containers for a little bit of money,
So someone
there
says
might be like a couple
that we
thousand
should
bucks.
sell it to Mexico.
Worst part of building Iron Glory, I think.
Oh, all of it.
Shipping it? Was that
Worst
bad?
part of Iron Glory.
I mean, worst part of my glory is driving it onto and off of a truck for the first time and almost dying. Building Iron Glory.
It was so much easier than Eagle Prime. Looking, I mean, at the time we thought it was terrible, but
Yeah. But then we tried again.
Well, there was a lot of parts of Eagle Prime that like never came into like action. Like a lot of features we wanted to add in, but we never actually capitalized on.
Right.
So like Eagle Prime,
Yeah.
like both of its arms are on these like container locks.
Yep.
And really, there's no reason for that at the moment, because I mean, like both of the like shoulders can like detach from the cockpit.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, I don't think we ever used that. Aside, did we like?
I imagined putting a like 20 or 40 shot missile launcher on a shoulder.
Yeah.
Just like a pan tilt, like no forearm, no anything, but just like take the entire shoulder off, replace it with a turret.
So like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in like Eagle Prime that just never never actually capitalized on.
Yeah.
Like most of the control system is like absurd for the level of like motion that we got out of that robot.
Yeah.
Like it's like a dynamically stable, like absurdly spec'd control system that we never got a chance to like really like take it through its paces.
this is a good question. What was the saddest part of this journey besides now?
Leave that for later.
I feel like
Get this man more beer.
I feel like we.
By the way, if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitch, the only channel we have up for comments is on YouTube.
I got this.
Oh, okay. Gee's got got another. So.
Did you guys ever watch Gundam?
Yes.
No, we have to answer. Before you say anything, you're live right now.
Huh?
We're live right now. So before you say anything.
Good. That's smart. That's good. Let's see. Aren't you guys upset? Oh wait.
No.
So
The saddest part.
Saddest part.
I think was
I'm just.
for me. I think it was the USA versus Canada thing.
Oh,
that was the point where I was like, this is actually over. Like nobody actually cares anymore. I think that's the part where I was like,
First Canada?
USA versus Canada challenge video.
When was that?
Exactly.
Oh snap!
Miles is a former MegaBots employee. Doesn't even know that Canada challenged us to a fight.
I was so excited to potentially make that hype video with that Resnick. Was that the guy's name?
Oh
Yeah.
no! That was like some boxer hype video that we.
Yeah, but we were trying to get him to collaborate and make a hype video because
Right.
because I was crying at the end of his video that on some boxer I'd never heard of, but it was like the most exciting thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Nice.
So I think the answer to that question is that everybody has their own personal sadness, which they carry with them forever. And like, just, you know, every once in a while you'll stare at the ceiling of your bedroom while trying to get to sleep and remember it.
And you're totally alone in it.
Exactly.
There's no one that shares it with you.
It's like,
Well,
that's what you will like. That's the last thought you will have before you die. Just like regrets.
Facebook is buffering. I don't know if it's me or.
Really? I mean, it might be that my Wi-Fi is just like streaming out and streaming down here and streaming down.
Oh my God! We can make the drop knife channel. He's right.
Knife drop channel. Oh wait, what time? Okay, we got 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see what we're at here.
Are we taking like an overrun or like bets on what kind of person's going to be the winner? Like
what kind of person?
Like someone with
What can't say stuff like that?
Well, like whether it's like a business mogul or like someone who sees like oil baron or you know
is
like
it a sovereign wealth guy? Is it a tech millionaire?
But I think the better thing is like, do you think it's going to have to be shipped internationally or not?
No.
Okay, that's
Let's instead talk about the like certainly hot button issues of how what type of person that is. like come on, let's really shoot ourselves in the foot here. There's nothing else we can do.
Do you think it'll be a good person?
I don't know. What type of good person?
What I really secretly deeply want is for the winning bidder to actually be Kurata-san. For a video to come out like 6 months from now, which is just like
checkmate.
Kurata's just slowly peeling parts off the robot, right? Like destroying it and reducing it to like a ball of ashes. Like, that's what I want.
The top bidder is Geolins 90, based in the U.S.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, whatever.
Could be a front for Kurata-san. That's what I'm holding on hope.
By the way, if any of you pranksters are thinking about bidding on this with joke bids, eBay is monitoring this right now, and they're verifying people. And if you bid and cannot pay, they're going to disable your your eBay account.
Bid is at $170,100. Right? Hasn't moved for a while.
It's up $100 since I left.
Oh, hey! Zach Robinson is watching. Hey,
Yay!
I still have to ship him something.
Is it a shirt?
Is it an autographed picture of you in the Burger Time stuff?
No, actually.
Because that's what you're supposed to give me.
Do you want that?
Yes!
I have like 5 of them just sitting around.
I want that picture, dude. I want to put it on my desk at work.
So
here's my question.
New questions.
What was since BattleTech inspired you, what is your favorite thing from BattleTech?
The Behemoth.
Tim's ready!
that and the Elementals.
Favorite thing from BattleTech?
So, well, my favorite thing from the BattleTech universe is the game MechWarrior 2. Are you talking about specific mechs? Oh, by the way, I should show the MechWarrior.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get that shit.
So one of our investors was the creative director,
executive producer
from
of MechWarrior 2. John Spinelli, if you're watching, hello.
John is so not watching. Look at that.
Boom!
Was that the guy who did like the voiceover?
Yeah, or no, he was the guy.
This is an original MechWarrior 2 hat from like the basement of the guy who did MechWarrior 2.
Yeah.
Fun fact, he is in the unveiling video for Eagle Prime. He is the mysterious like control man in the red room. That is like actually the guy who did MechWarrior 2. So there you go.
And the guy who did the voiceover for John Spinelli, who is the executive producer of MechWarrior 2, is the voice of Duncan Fisher in MechWarrior 4, who came back to do the voice for our like creepy radio control unit in our debut
We are
video.
reading the comments. We are reading the comments.
We are reading the comments.
Okay.
There's one from Facebook. It's been here for a little bit.
Sure, what's that?
Aren't you guys upset that MegaBots is probably one of the biggest advances in technology and robotics and nobody cares enough to fund or appreciate all of the amazing and hard work you guys have done and the inspiration you gave to me as an aspiring engineer?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it one of the biggest advances.
Oh my god.
Like in terms of mass?
So the thing to realize is that we tried to design the robots with as many standard components as humanly possible because it is a collection of several thousand things that must go right. So I think the MegaBot is like made of relatively basic things, I would say, that are executed well.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say it's like a small jump above like normal construction equipment because it has like, it does have closed loop control, so the robot kind of knows where its positions are.
That's not a small.
That's not. I would not say it's a small. I would say like.
Okay.
So the thing is that like the supplier for all the controls that we have on the MegaBot says like the MegaBot itself is the biggest deployment of those controls that they've ever seen.
That's awesome.
So basically, I think we have 280 something devices on the same like bus, and that's like some of the people who supplied us with those devices were absolutely shocked.
Someone shouts, "Compatibility engineering is real engineering."
We hear you when you're valid.
Oh, here.
I would just like to point out that we have lost $100 on the eBay auction.
Well, eBay doing its job was screening those grifters, man.
MegaBots, do you think you will come back ever? Probably not. So I'm sort of working to like see if we can save the social media accounts and the trademark and stuff like that.
Sort of the branding.
Yeah, but like there's no plans to reboot it right now. It will probably just sort of like, I don't know, maybe sit in some defunct entity until somebody with money like stumbles across this and is like,
remember that?
So maybe like
20,
maybe 20 years from now when we all made it,
Yeah.
and we're like, fuck it, we're just building this ourselves.
Okay. When we make it. Here's what I see. 20 years from now, I'm going to be working in a junkyard. Some 10-year-old kid's going to be like, I found Eagle Prime. I'm like, get out of here, kid. You can't do anything with that old robot. And like, he's going to teach me the meaning of friendship. Actually built this thing to compete in the actual mech fighting league.
And they're going to find you like drunk on the floor of a bar in Jamaica,
Exactly.
like Cool Runnings.
Would exosuits be easier than a mech?
No, they would not.
See Exo so there's a company called Exo. They make exosuits, or they tried to make exosuits.
Oh, snap.
And yeah, it's not remotely easier. It's actually much more difficult.
So there's also our friend John Tippett working on the prosthesis robot racing mech, and that has been incredibly difficult. The problem with exosuits is that you now have to not rip the human apart, right? At the same time as you're interpreting a human's motion to actually do the right thing. So the MegaBot actually got a lot of like, I don't know, squish factor, like ability to pilot from the fact that the pilots didn't have to move much to actually command the robot to do something. Because when you're in it, you get thrown around if the torso's twisting or if you're like taking a bank turn or whatever.
Wasn't there a DoD project called Iron Man, like way back in the 50s, that was like that? And it was nixed because they couldn't stop the hydraulic spasms from ripping a potential operator apart.
I don't know about that. I know there was a GE walking truck that was an exoskeleton, and
There's also
you couldn't walk for more than 30 minutes without actually getting so much mental fatigue that you had to stop.
Yeah, and there's two.
No more beer for the guy in green.
You know what?
Thoughts on Boston Dynamics? He actually used to work at Boston Dynamics.
I did. Oh man.
What else should Miles do?
Boston Dynamics is awesome. They're an incredible group of people. They like what you see the robots doing now is like the result of actually 35 years of work. So when you see the like Atlas robot jumping around and doing gymnastics and stuff like that, like these people have been working on it since 1985 from the MIT Leg Lab, and it's just this like absolutely amazing use of technology. I wish they would make things a little bit cheaper and a little more real world, but I think they're doing amazing work, and I'm always impressed.
I think we're in the last minute.
Last couple. A lot of people commenting we should do BattleBots.
BattleBots.
So
Miles does do BattleBots.
So does Tim. Tim's on Bite Force, and
Nice.
I'm on
And we won
the
it.
opposite of Bite Force.
I mean, everybody else was stupid.
I'm on Poor Life Choices. Yeah, he's got Bite Force on what's it?
I was trying to hear about that.
Huh?
Apteryx.
Yeah, Apteryx.
And I'm on Poor Life Choices with Battle Royale with cheese. And so like, there's a slight difference in like the robots.
1 minute left.
1 minute left.
But
1 minute
overlap
left
in those communities.
Exactly.
We have lost $100 on this eBay auction since we started.
Yeah.
So we are currently holding steady at $170,000.
That is eBay trying to verify these bids.
I see.
So they're calling people.
17.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Sold for $170,000.
This
to
item is no longer available.
Yasuka.
That is who?
Russian!
Russia! Russians bought Eagle Prime.
Oh my God! Russia bought Eagle Prime.
Wait.
Sovereign world.
I want to put this in perspective for our viewers. Eagle Prime just sold for 6.8% of the cost it took to make it.
Yeah, but is that the material cost, or is that like the whole development
That's
cost?
material plus labor.
Oh, really? Well, then fuck. What the fuck are we doing here?
Listen, we're losing money with every robot, but we'll make it up in volume. It's,
We'll lose so much money we come out the other side.
Are we still streaming? Is this still going on?
I'm just doing like the picture-in-picture.
I see.
I actually don't want to like.
Ishida-san is watching us. Hello, Ishida-san.
Well,
So here's our winner.
Shipment to Russia.
Wait, actually, based in the Russian Federation.
Based in Russian Federation.
What kind of other stuff has he bought? Go through his life.
I don't really feel like that's a
Spread
thing
that
you want to
around.
do on a live stream.
Just full of good ideas, buddy. He's still a little high from the wind, you know?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's gone. They're just delirious.
I meant that.
Their reviews are great buy, fast payment. Thank you. I cannot wait to leave an eBay review for this person. A plus 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 plus.
Give us your questions about Eagle Prime.
The team captain. The welding idea.
We got comments?
It is.
This is just
Yeah, it's
Oh!
scamming pretty
I
hard.
love the kitchen. Kitchens.
Mark Von Arx on Facebook. Sup, buddy? Our entertainment lawyer said I wanted to make a bid, but my wife wasn't cool about keeping Eagle Prime in the backyard.
Vodka Prime.
Zach, former MegaBot Zach, says transport might cost more than the robot, which I would believe.
Yeah.
Plausible.
So everybody's gonna get treated to a YouTube video at some point of like me trying to get this thing to Russia.
Yep.
At some point.
Oh man, are you gonna go to Russia?
I don't know. Well, you don't know. You don't know where they want to hold it, though.
Yeah.
They might not be sure.
Oh yeah. So all we know is
Don't
that
go to Russia.
that the user of the eBay account is based in Russia. We do not know if they actually want the robot in Russia or not. At least the user.
It's probably gonna the robot's gonna go to like the most remote corner of Russia, on a.
The Kamchatka Peninsula. It's just gonna get stuck in the peat bog.
Oh man.
There's gonna be a YouTube video of Matt just completely oversized winter clothing, just everything's ice. Be like, just drop it off here.
It's gonna be on the Bone Road, way the hell out there,
Exactly.
where they where Stalin.
Guys, I might die here!
Is there any ITAR restrictions?
Now you ask. Not before.
No,
Not before you.
There's no ITAR restrictions on this thing.
There's
there's no like super high frequency or whatever like
No.
missile G.
There is
Of
nothing.
course not.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
We're all clear.
Everything's
Don't look in
fine.
the cockpit. That's for sure.
Not even the
I actually-
optical package.
I think we actually declined a gyro
You mean the camera?
Yeah.
sponsorship because
We did.
it was iTire.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went with, what is it? I forget exactly what the,
I'm blanking too.
yeah, something like iSens or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, iSens. We did have one of those
XSens.
modules.
XSens. Yeah, we had the
XSens is great.
XSens. Yeah.
Slav Prime.
Are there other good questions on
You realize that now we have to build another robot to defeat the robot
That we
that
just sold.
built and sold to Russia.
Well,
Man, it's gonna
but
be
we know-
rocky.
Man, this is like the
Shouldn't be
state of
hard.
America right now.
YouTube? On the other hand, we do
Robot
know all of its
industrial.
weaknesses, which is approximately everything.
Mostly fire.
Just run away from it long enough.
Frankenstein's monster kind of.
So Hallie, my fiance, actually has a story, and we have a saying in our relationship now, which is, when do I get to be upset that the robot is on fire? Because we started dating when the Eagle Prime robots started being tested, and she hated when I would arrive to dates late. And there were several times, like more than 2, in which I was in the robot and the robot was on fire underneath me, and I was texting Hallie saying, there is no possible way I will be at the date by 7 p.m. I'm really sorry. The robot's literally on fire. And usually it was Dan and Tim spraying underneath me, waiting for like the hydraulic oil to cool off.
We finally just put a remote camera like right on the muffler so you could see.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
remember-
remember whether the oil was dripping down in the wrong spot.
On the exhaust.
I remember you
Yeah.
buying one of those like Fluke multimeters that had like the remote head, so we could like just have like observe the, I think it was
The
a
fuel
temperature?
rate. No,
Yeah,
the fuel gauge.
rate. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, no, I use that thing all the time. I use it with my toolbox, my favorite multimeter.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We have more.
Sponsored by Fluke, by the way.
Hey.
I just sent it in to get
He
calibrated.
makes
like, last
amazing
month.
products, by the way. Just like
Yeah.
What a.
we're
Any
gonna
good
plug
comments?
somebody. Fluke. I don't know.
Good questions.
Good luck. People are really want us to do BattleBots for some reason.
We've done BattleBots.
Many
Many
MegaBots
people.
employees.
Yeah.
It's so hard, dude. It like.
I'm supposed to build the BattleBot and then send it to Orlando, actually. That's what.
I mean, the proposition for a BattleBot is, hey, don't you want to spend $20,000 to $40,000 making a robot that might disappear in the first 5 seconds of a match, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and then commit 2.5 weeks of your life to not being paid to show it on television, and it absorbs some really intense internet hate, by the way, like all
Right.
throughout.
right. The armchair engineers are like, you know what you should have done? It's like, you lost because of this.
Dude, like we were undefeated, and people were saying stuff like, "I just want them to lose. I don't care if somebody cheats and like totally f's those guys over. Like I just want Bike Force to lose." And just
Never read the comments. Never read the comments.
Anyway, speaking of the
Also, let's
so to wrap up, for those of you who are watching, the eBay listing is over. It sold for $170,000. Well, the top bidder was someone from Russia bidding $170,000. We have yet to verify, I believe we have yet to verify if that person is legit or not. It could just be somebody doing a weird bid. Last I heard from eBay, the last legitimate bid that they told me about was at $162K. They actually talked to this person and verified. So we'll see if it is indeed the person that did 170. But yeah, eBay is currently monitoring, and we should have an answer soon. So all very exciting.
you think they'll pay you in Bitcoin?
Hey.
It can only go up.
So I hear.
I don't think the bank would have.
Except Bitcoin.
Yes, there are MegaBots patches still. Go to store.megabots.com.
Matt, what's unsecured debt?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Dan's losing it.
Good. Good.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna shut this off, and we'll probably talk about what really happened at the duel.
Hey. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
We have no assets. Well done.
Look for the video when I go to Russia. How do I stop? I'm just gonna click these stop buttons.